world looked very different from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It just does, than it does on the streets of America, even traditionally Democratic strongholds like Chicago. Well, they've had enough. We sent our producer Caroline out to see if Americans, well, why, some say, we're in a recession.
Do you believe him when he says we're not going to enter a recession?
No, not one bit.
I'd like to. No.
Do you believe
anything he says?
No. No, not at all?
No. Probably not.
No.
He can say it to reassure the public, but again, he doesn't control the economy that as much as they'd like people to believe he does.
Do you think we're in a recession?
I think we are at the beginning of a recession.
At the beginning?
That's what the newspaper tells me.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yes.
I mean, the inflation is crazy here.
Yeah.
I mean, the prices are much higher.
I think we're quickly entering one.
Like, breakfast is $25. Like,
Okay.
pancakes.
I think the inflation is super high. People can't afford a lot of things. And the labor participation rate is super low because there's no point of working when you can't afford anything.
I think the world's crazy right now.
Now, can't afford anything is what we hear of so often. What's in the name? Why is the president scared of it, fighting so hard about it? Colby Hall, founding editor of Mediate, America's premier site for news about the news, with us. Now, this is interesting because you've got a president saying that something's not happening that widely agreed upon is, and by definitions that have been used for decades, is. How bad does the economy have to get for the chyron on a number of cable news channels, not just one, to say Biden says not a recession, fact check it is?
Well, I think they already read that Biden saying there's not a recession, and I think to fact check that it's not, I'm not so sure. I mean, this is one of those weird sort of gotcha political media games where we ascribe so much meaning into this word recession. Clearly, the United States economy is in a tough spot. In fact, it's a global economy. Whether or not we call it a recession, I almost think is immaterial. I mean, yes, it seems as like left-leaning media are sort of making sure they go out of their way to say, well, technically, but does that really matter? I mean, I think that those media outlets are doing themselves a disservice by getting caught up in semantics. It's the old sort of internet adage, like someone saying, well, actually, and when you start with, well, actually, you're sort of admitting that you've kind of lost the argument.
Yeah, you're losing when you have to start with, well, it hasn't worked in the past, or, well, actually, there you go.
Right.
The different question here, though, for the media is how do you accurately cover America's pain? Because that's what America's feeling. And so often it seems like the reporters and correspondents and anchors from either Washington or New York head out to where you or I are from, Colby, and it's almost like they're visiting the zoo. Real Americans are feeling the pain of this, and how are we going to show that? This is sort of the most obvious way to encapsulate what so many people have been feeling, right?
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. I think there's this almost social anthropology approach where, I think a lot of media are ensconced in their sort of elite kind of high-rise buildings in Manhattan or in D.C. or even L.A., and, they lose touch with the fact that most Americans, they notice when a gallon of milk goes up 50 cents. They especially notice when gas is nearly $5 a gallon. And, so I think I've long argued that, what the traditional media outlets need is they need more people, regular people, boots on the ground who live in normal places, and not just like sort of fancy suburbs of Kansas City and Chicago, but also, the smaller towns where, the Uvaldes, apart from the shooting. And as a result of that, it would feel less like zoo animals and more like this is what's really happening. And when anything is approached with Americans are hurting, again, to your point, it just parades the fact that they're disconnected.
Yeah, well, it's certainly that. And even when you listen to both Fox and MSNBC today, they were both oddly disconnected. Take a listen.
This new GDP report is a bad sign, but it's not definitive, as the White House is pointing out, as Janet Yellen pointed out on Sunday on Meet the Press. The jobs numbers are great.
Exactly. I mean, basically, technically, the definition of recession is 2 quarters of contraction. The problem is that very often the GDP numbers are revised quite significantly.
Fox News alert. We got word just about 28 minutes ago the United States GDP dropped 0.9%. That's the second drop in 2 straight quarters. We're in a recession.
And this was tweeted out, caught our eye. The people proclaiming recession today would be using the exact same apologetics as if the White House, if Trump was still in office. The people arguing that recession never meant 2 straight quarters of negative growth would be proclaiming recession if Trump was in office. Duh. But the next part of that sentence is, and what is the responsibility of media then to hold the president to account for what we've been talking about the whole time, which is how Americans are actually feeling?
Well, that's a great question, and there's no real answer. I mean, it really gets to the point of, like, what is the role of the president, right? Like, what can the president do right now to help the economy? One, he can be honest with Americans about what's going on, and I think he's done that okay. But his role is also to be a cheerleader. Like, so much of, like, how we feel about the economy is vibes, for lack of a better word. Yep. And so he, any sitting president, no one's ever going to say, like, yes, things are really, really bad under my watch. That's just never going to happen. I will say, however, that there is, it's always darkest before the dawn. And the good news to this is, I think, the way that I have understood, I'm no economist, we're coming out of a recession. It would surprise me, given the way the gas prices are going down, that Q3 will have the same downturn. So I suspect, given, what Q1 looked like, what Q2 looked like, there's a decent chance, though don't hold me to it, that the worst is maybe behind us and we're going to start to get better.
You say you're not an economist, but decent chance, don't hold me to it is exactly how economists talk, my friend. It's good to see. Yes, we are going to hold you to it. We'll mark the tape. It's good to see you, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.